Party people in the place to be, live from 58 Dream Street. With James and with Games. Happy Sunday, folks. Hold on. Pull this over a little. Hair's looking a little limp today. I can tell I'm getting due for a haircut. Once I start looking like a 1970s Paul Simon was somehow a member of early Beatles. But here we are. It's a lovely, in one sense, day here in Nova Scotia. Because it is quite beautiful out, but it's snowing a lot. So, your mileage may vary on whether that's good weather. But here we are, and it's a good Sunday inside. Just want to play some Disco Elysium. This is the 6th session of our Disco Elysium blind playthrough. And things have been picking up. We're into day 2, and I started day 2 off with a bang by having first getting a good roll to intimidate the racist lorry driver and bullying him into revealing where the lorry that just might be responsible for the alleged drug smuggling ring was located. We investigated that. Cedric, welcome. Yes, indeed, Lieutenant Kim. And, so we bullied him. We investigated the thing. We went back to Joyce. We got a sense of the stakes here because she revealed to us that the hanged man, the murder victim whose murder we're investigating, was a mercenary hired against her will by Wild Pines, the corporation, to help deal with the situation here. He had allegedly, although it sounded like a pretty valid allegation, had committed a sexual assault. The union allegedly lynched him in response. And now the big problem is that if we don't identify an actual perpetrator that the mercenaries could take horrible revenge upon, they're just going to take horrible revenge upon everybody in Martinaise. Collective punishment, massacring the union, and just it's going to be bad. So this is not just about proving that I'm a good detective, which I may or may not be. This is about preventing a massacre. Then, another good role. We found a fridge. We put the corpse in a fridge because my character had a hunch that there was something that we're missing. And when I investigated, we had some good rolls on those skill checks. And we discovered that, we did miss something pretty big. We missed a bullet lodged in his brain stem because this guy was not hung by the neck until dead. He was shot in the head and then hung by the neck to create a diversion. And so Kim took the corpse back. Kim's not with us for the rest of day 2 because he's taking the corpse to forensics. Now that, we obviously don't trust forensics a lot to do their due diligence, so we made sure to make the breakthrough. Now we're handing the corpse off. And while he's been gone, I met Titus Hardy and the Hardy Boys, the union thugs who readily admitted to the murder, but only as a collective. Nobody will say who specifically did it, because we can't just arrest them all for being there at the crime, especially since I'm just one dude and I don't have my gun or even my badge. And then, on top of that, boy, did they seem shaken when I revealed that I knew that this guy was not hung to death, that he was shot. What does it mean? I don't know. Let's fire it up. I was hoping, while we wait for this to load, Cedric, I'll tell you, and anyone else who's listening, that I was hoping when I used today's snow day, to finally get caught up on prepping videos to publish on the YouTube page at 58 Dream Street. If you're ever interested in any of the backlog, it's all there. One thing I had really hoped for was that I was going to have one of those breakthroughs where I discovered, because I ended up at the end of yesterday in Space Quest 5, the next mutation, no idea what to do next. A vague sense that somehow that thermos that we know set off the mutations on Clorox 2 might have been what we're looking for. Suffice to say, I looked very carefully at the graphic of the canister while editing that video, hoping that it would, maybe there's a visual cue on it, because I can't figure, it's in the foreground and I can't figure out how to have Roger get it. Now, if it is that thing, if that's related, I gotta actually figure out how to obtain it. But we'll cross that bridge the next time we're playing Space Quest 5. A completely different game than this. Right now, let's play Disco Elysium. Oops. Just gotta get myself set up here. There we go. Okay, now, there are two things I want to get right down to business with today as we begin the afternoon of day 2. The first is that... No, we're still on Disco Quest 1. Juffawet. And hello. Happy Sunday. Happy to have you here. Imagine if Sierra's naming conventions had just been that much more influential. Like, if Maniac Man... LucasArts wanted to make their own adventures, and they were like, well, this one... It's called Teenager Quest instead of Maniac Mansion. Archaeologist Quest instead of those Indiana Jones games they made. Mansion Quest, that works too. Although then the sequel gets weird. Because the sequel could still... Day of the Tentacle, from what I understand, could still be called Teenager Quest 2. Weaver Quest. You know who would have run into trouble? It's a much later adventure game. A PlayStation 1 adventure game. But the people made Blazing Dragons. What are you going to do? You cannot call that game Dragon Quest. Oh, it does. Okay, perfect. Shows what I know. All right, there's two things I want to tackle right away here. One is that I've been just looking, bringing up the journal, clicking over to map, being like, when am I going to get the map? When does the side quest that leads to the map come up? When is Kim going to go, oh, detective, we should really find a map and add that to my tasks? And then when I thought about it more, I realized that's a very silly thing to expect to happen. This game will probably, and probably always has, had the ability for me to go to one of the two obvious stores, the bookstore or the Fritz, the drugstore, and buy a map for like a few real. So I'm going to try to get a map, and then we got to go back and talk to Evrart Claire. Most importantly, so that he will... I need to click the... Maybe not most importantly, but he said my name. And I thought, all right, there, now the character knows. And so I didn't take the dialogue option of, why'd you call me Harry DuBois or whatever? Because I thought it was obvious. I thought the character would have just internalized that. No. If this character is going to learn his name, I have to actually go and be like, why are you calling me by a name? So I'll do that. I actually think that the drugstore seems like a more obvious place to get a map, but I was closer to the bookstore, so let's see. All right, that many places to check.
A small mountain of
board
colorful
games.
board game boxes. There are numerous types of games.
I'm intrigued. I'm not going to spend my money because, like, I need at least 20 real every night to just stay alive, and I nurture a probably foolhardy dream of getting so much real that I can buy back Lieutenant Kim's hubcaps that he sold just so I could have a roof over my head.
Contain the word Hyundai somewhere.
But I am really, really curious. What happens if you buy the board game? Part of me thinks, like, there's no way it's so detailed that you can buy the board game and then, like, play it. And then there's another part of me that remembers when we got a little bit meta down in the basement when we found a video game developer's abandoned place, and how absurdly ambitious their game plan was related to their funding. And then, oh hey, I get it. I get what they're doing. So maybe they did. Maybe they did. Who
Shelves
knows?
filled
Probably
to the
not going to
brim
find
with
it.
crime novels featuring
Crime novels, that's nothing. That's not going to do the problem for me. This might be a good candidate. This is like a board of maps.
shelves full of biographies of famous people, whoever they are.
Yeah. Hold on, Lieutenant Kim. I will bet you 20 real on this game of Wirral. And then if I can just beat him 10 times in a row. Okay. I actually have a pretty good feeling. This looks like it might be a board of maps.
Several maps
Map
have
wall.
been attached
It
to
is.
a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They're held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner.
Yeah. That's a very good visual. It's a very good description of the visual we see.
The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinaise.
Well, I'm going to defer gratification here. What if Plaisance won't sell it to me because I busted into her basement and unleashed the curse?
This large map
What if I had to do that in the
displays
opposite order?
archipelagos. You see a constellation of small dots on the light blue emptiness of the Insulindic Ocean.
I
The
will say-
largest in the northeast is La Caillou. You are here. Another far away in the southwest, Seminese Islands, Ile de Fantôme.
The Phantom Islands or Ghost Islands. I will say I got another achievement. This was a common one. The goodest detective ever. Hail British. 33% of players get the goodest cop or something, whatever. Basically get Lieutenant Kim to actually trust you. So hey, that means it felt like I had got him to trust me, and it turns out I did. So that feels good. And I bring that up because if offending Plaisance by busting into her basement and unleashing the curse. Well, I'm still waiting. Like, I can fairly say that I'm going to be promoted to senior instructor because the thing I'm waiting on now is beyond all of the like real steps. Academic HR bureaucracy has a lot of formal, like, there's a lot of ceremony, but it's not like, you know, the series of like actual evaluators who looked at me as my application ping-ponged around the faculty leading up to the dean recommending me for promotion. That's not going to be overruled by like the university president. That would be weird. That would be unprecedented. I should knock on wood. It hasn't come through yet. And at the same time, the new curriculum, my boss has asked me to greetings, Regodeth. Yeah, perhaps I can sell Plaisance on that if she's resistant. But what was I trying to say? Yeah, the fact, like, because I saw my latest achievement. I think if I had locked myself out of ever acquiring the map, there would be an achievement for that. What else?
Ozon, Laurentide, Fas Alamir, Archipelagos, North Arcade Islands, all just specks of dust on the vastness of the Insulindic. On the edges of the map, the color fades into a blur of dotted lines, black and white. In the northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou, in a bookstore. It's you.
Well, hold on. I'm knocking on wood again. Gotta keep these wooden coasters for just this reason. It's almost certainly going to happen, but it hasn't officially happened yet. But it's gonna happen.
You can, on Caillou, Revachol, a single black star, on Ozon, Fondelier, and Vimandu, on Archipelagos, Croyan Moran, Villiers, on Seminine,
Wait.
Olduvai, and on Laurentide, Deora
Is
of
there-
the Seven Seas.
Is there an island called Archipelagos? That's an interesting bit of world building.
Lost little pearls of light, tiny fires in the dark. The ocean breaks apart into a tangle of cosines and azimuths. all pointing into pale nothingness. Windy is the north azimuth. Grad is the northeast
I've built my
azimuth.
character to...
Samara
He's
is
so
the
deep.
east azimuth.
He has such a deep well of
Sail
feeling that he's
is
just
the
getting all
west
worked up,
azimuth.
just staring at a map.
Isolas, they're called. Connections to other worlds. Words past the Insulindian, unknown to you. You only know you've never been there. You have little idea what they
Yep.
are. Distant stars.
Not even
Gods.
close.
But looking at them makes you feel almost non-existent. Whatever they are, the Isolas are immeasurably large compared to you, and very, very far away. Perhaps they are gods, gods of distance and outer dust.
I'm a big feeler, but not a philosopher.
The north coast of a
Yeah,
verdant
seriously.
island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the River Esperance.
If I find a
Countless
flyer
bridges put the
from
shards
Fritz
back
with all the
together,
different
connecting
discounts,
city blocks to river islands.
it's going to
La
provoke me
Delta
deep
says
thoughts
a great
about
artificial heart in the
all
center,
the little things
teeming with life
that we
forms
scrabble our
and
real
construction.
together to try to fill our lives with meaning.
To the east, rolling hillsides, Le Jardin, Stella Marie, the suburbs of Saint-Baptiste, swallowed up into the megacity. They sound rich to you. This is Rivershell East.
And west of the river?
Houdon, it's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's bad. People shouldn't live there, but they do. Then Forberg. It's almost as bad, and much larger. Then Coal City. It's the worst.
And how does Martinaise work out in this hierarchy of
It's
terrible?
so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait. There it is. North of Jamrock. The strip of coast next to the Greater Rivershell Industrial Harbour. It looks downright despondent. It's almost Coal City, to be honest.
But it isn't.
No, this is somewhere to be.
Yep.
This is all you have. But it's still something. Streets and sodium lights, the sky, the world. You're still alive.
Let's look at the map
It's
of
not really
Martinaise.
a map. It's a tourist thing. A picture postcard with buildings on it, drawn from an isometric perspective. A date in the upper right corner says 48.
Does nobody in this world ever flesh out what year it, like, just nobody cares about what millennium or century we're in.
Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see the jagged boxes of an industrial harbor, even the whirling in rags there.
Hey, Plaisance. Can I buy these
I'm
maps?
sorry, officer. The map of Martinaise is the only one available. The
Okay.
other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, you could scarcely afford them.
Fair. But the local map is actually the
Quite
one I care
valuable,
about.
Though they might not look it. The map of Martinaise is 90 cents, though.
Why is the Martinaise one so cheap?
That old thing. It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never was nor came to be.
My rigorous self-critique is coming to fruition. I had to put it on pause to pretend to believe in race science.
From when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up 4 or 5 years ago, they also renovated the horse statue, set up those coin-operated viewers, and designed the new street lamps.
And what happened then?
They didn't get that far, for some reason. A shame the project
No
never
one
got
can
going.
steal.
Would be nice if someone fixed Martinaise up. All these ruins are bad for business.
Well, I would like to buy this.
Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
That's right. That's right, Plaisance.
Rigorous self-critique. Here it is. Hard facts from the man you are. You once jerked off in the locker room and were caught.
Oh, man.
You held a young woman by the arm and kept her in your apartment for 20 minutes against her will. That's right. These are not flights of fancy.
Track her down.
These
and
are
apologize.
real deeds, Harry, emerging from the darkness of your past. You tried shooting a fleeing suspect in the foot, but hit him in the pelvis, crippling him for life. And, above all, you let life defeat you. All the gifts your parents gave you, all the love and patience of your friends, you drowned in a neurotoxin. You let misery win, and it will keep on winning till you die, or overcome it.
Search your heart, Harry. You know it to be true. Can he overcome it? Maybe. Intelligence and psi red check failures heal your morale when you have low enough self-esteem. Meanwhile, failing on red for physical and motor skill red check failures heal my health now. And my learning cap for pain threshold is up. As Colin Farrell's character said in the oft-maligned second season of True Detective, when he's this character, a miserable drunk detective, is constantly recording messages to his son. And at one point, he just pops his recorder on and he goes, "Pain is inexhaustible. It's only people that get exhausted." And I know it doesn't sound like it, but it's funny in like a really dark way. I didn't think that season really came together, but I think it deserved more credit for some really mordant dark humor. Okay. Well, this is a helpful thought for now. And you know what? I'm going to hang on to a rigorous self-critique because, I mean, it's true. And I do want to overcome this neurotoxin thing. I want my guy somehow, I don't know if redemption's in the cards for him, but he's going to try. He's trying to stay on the path. That's a good one, too. Map of
The
Martinaise.
worn map features the patchwork grid of the streets of Martinaise, with directions to appropriately touristy locations. Year 48 resides on the upper right corner.
Trace a path.
Your finger moves through the various streets, across Rue de Saint-Ghislain and Rue Saint-Sipar, over Saint-Brun and Martinaise North. Finally, coming to a halt on the spot where you are currently standing, although the map gives no such indication itself.
It's really only video game maps that do that.
For a more detailed view of the map, go to your journal and select the map tab.
Yes, thank you, tutorial agent. I knew about that one. Okay. So, we know that Kim is... I mean, he's not anywhere, but he's just being shown as though he were somewhere. So what happens if I click on some of my other checks? Backyard wall, cargo container door. Yeah, it'll spot me on where different things are. Some of these are available. Footprints in the dust. I could try again, except I tried to try again and it wouldn't let me. I wonder if I need Lieutenant Kim for that. Meanwhile, well, this one's not really available because Lieutenant Kim's not here right now. Okay, cool. At any rate, map looks cool. I'm not really getting from just looking at it how I might go south and reach this place where Lita's the ornithologist or no, not cryptozoologist, where he supposedly went. Okay. Well, I've already done this. I've got the real to pay. Can't talk to this guy yet, but we're talking to him tonight. Let's go talk to Mr. Claire. At least my rigorous self-critique seemed to know my name. But we want to know it officially. Maybe we even get some experience points for it. What is the current state of my... I have 1 skill point to spend, and I'm close to a level up. For now, I'm just going to roll with that. Although I could try to load up whatever it is for the check with Annette. Try and impress her. Let me see. Let me go back one more time. Maybe those footprints are something I can check. I don't think they are, but maybe. Ah, poor Kuno. No corpse to pelt with rocks anymore.
There are several footprints in the mud.
Waffle Syrup,
left by
welcome,
workers,
and thank you,
anywhere from
as the
6 to
sign
12
says, for
years
subscribing.
walked here.
I'm proud of that animation. I mean, like, it's not like I don't deserve that much credit for it, because it's clearly Mega Man for the jump. But the animation itself, I unintentionally did the way that hair pops up when you jump backwards. So it's popping up when I jump and then settling back down. But I think it has a kind of like Jessica Rabbit effect of like really emphasizing. Oh, I get a check now.
Sitting at a desk, Lieutenant Kitsuragi fiddles with a pen, then writes something on the paper in front of him. He shouldn't be doing that. He should be here discussing the footprints.
We need Lieutenant Kim back. So I guess looking at the footprints is a day 3 task. Had a major breakthrough, Waffle Syrup, in this case. I know that the man wasn't hung, the mercenary. I know that he was shot, and then hung to cover up the fact that he was shot. So we're getting somewhere. Right now I'm on my way. Also, I bullied the shit out of this asshole, which I felt good about. Bullying is wrong. But being a racist is worse. So who's to say if it's really wrong to bully a racist? I'll say it. It's not. So much for tolerant liberalism. Yeah, sorry, buddy. Tell me where the drug smuggling lorry is, or I'll break your fucking jaw. We're just standing here to just smugly look at Measurehead, having erased... I spent a skill point just to get his stupid shit out of my mind now that I don't need him. I used you and I discarded you. The only thing low-ranking Nazis are for, even to the Nazis themselves. Being used and discarded. There's a bunch of shithead edgelord teenagers in the United States, at least a handful of them, that are on their way to learning that lesson. Give them time. I'm sorry, Mr. Bezos. I forgot I didn't tag this stream as political. Yeah. Yep. There's a big ass print in the chair by the radio. Checks out. And then I click here. Head up to the docks. Maybe Easy Joe or whatever his name is. We'll have some new dialogue. Maybe not. Is this the way? Eh. We'll find our way. It won't take too long. Especially thanks to pathfinding. Yeah, okay, that's where we're going. I gotta say, while I am glad, I'm happy with the choices I made for how to build my version of Harry. It would have been nice to go the physique route just to get to spin kick Measurehead in the skull. My calipers show there's a dent here in your forehead. And they also confirm that that's hilarious.
mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larice said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. And lots of folk really did keep coming back.
Yeah, for sure, man. I've come back to chat with you like a sex addict crawling back to the bathhouse. It's an interesting way to put it. If I had some questions for you, Leo, would that be a problem? Or would you really, really like the opportunity to speak?
No trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all.
Oh.
It's like that old saying goes, wisdom withers if not shared. And old Leo is always up for sharing.
Leo, I'm sorry, but now that I think about it, I don't have anything to ask you. But have a good day, buddy. I'd flip you a real or two if I could. Mr. Claire. Alright. Well, at least whatever happens here, I won't be debasing myself in front of Kim.
Mr. DuBois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
Oh, thank you. I've demeaned myself enough. You called me Mr. DuBois. Why?
Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Evrart, I call you Harry.
Okay, so that's really my name? Because when I was thinking earlier about what a piece of shit I am, and I was thinking like, you're a piece of shit, Harry, you're a piece of shit, Harry. Felt right.
My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
It's true. My memory's a bit hazy.
I assure you, there's nothing to be ashamed of, Harry. You're among friends, and the good news is...
He taps on the folder in front of him.
I have a big fat folder on you, Harry. I'm sure you have a lot of questions to ask. Maybe I can help you out.
Well, I've always said, Mr. Claire, it's always good to know yourself. Although, actually, every time I find out anything about myself, I feel worse.
I'm sure you had some concerns you thought I might be able to address. And you were probably right. I can.
It's just a brown folder. You can't make out what's written on it.
With my eagle eye, I can tell that I can't make out what's written on the folder.
You must have questions, Harry. Come on now. Don't be shy.
He makes a
Let's
come
hear
hither
them.
motion. Ugh. There's a greasiness to this fellow, of course. All right.
Asking too many questions will make you look weak. You should maybe focus on the folder.
Yeah. Don't want to look weak.
Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
I've read shipping folders before, so that would help. Trying to do some kind of act to trick them. It's a red check, can't retry it. Although because I know I'm a piece of shit, if I fail it, heal my morale. All right, let's just get this straight. Full name: Harry DuPont.
It's Harry. Harry
DuBois.
DuBois.
DuBois. Sorry, DuBois. Of the Revachol DuBois.
You feel like a DuBois, but you don't feel like a Harry. Strange.
Just call me Henry. Can we call me Henry or Hank? Okay. No. I'm not gonna show weakness. Alright. I like it. I can work with this.
And I can work with you, Harry. Now, what else can I do for you?
Just out of where'd this folder come from? Where'd you get a folder on me, Mr. Claire?
Ah, this? My friends in your organization gave it to me, Harry.
Right. 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 One more question, and then I'll go for the read. I kind of get a feel for what kind of cop... No, you know what? What kind of cop does it say I am?
Well, Harry, if I were to sum you up in one word, it would be apologetic.
I'm... sorry?
Yes. You seem to be. A lot of the time. But right now, there's no reason to be. Let loose a little. Be you.
Well, let's try this. It's a red check. It's only one shot.
As you look at the folder, Evrart covers it with his hand and pets it. He's hiding it from you because it's not a real RCM folder. It's just another one of those brown folders you saw in the file cabinet.
Ta-da. Spider eyes. And not even just because of my, just keep tearing up and ruining my mascara. It's not an RCM folder, Mr. Claire,
Okay, Harry, you got me.
he says,
This is
grinning.
from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them.
It's just a brown folder.
He got the name from the Census Bureau and everything else from your behavior here in Martinaise.
But I really got you good there for a moment, didn't I, Harry?
Yeah, he laughs like he pulled off
Now,
a
what
successful
can I do for
prank.
you?
That means he doesn't really know anything about you.
Nice try. Good bluff, Mr. Claire.
A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being.
So the Census Bureau says my name is Harry DuBois?
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on.
So Kim endorsed the idea of doing this. So that tells me to do it. But first, let's see what we can bluff here about. So I've just finished investigating. I'm not going to show my hand. I just finished investigating the local drug trade. I'm a multifaceted detective.
You've got a lot of spirit clearing up the drug problem alongside this murder.
No kidding.
I'll talk to the mayor and see if I can get you the key to the city, Harry. Now, let's talk real business.
A lot of spirit, but I'm trying my best to not have a lot of spirits. Eh?
Not even a speck of anger in his voice. That's that then.
Maybe I should have accused the union. I should have bluffed. Oh well. So I'm reconsidering opening that door you asked me to open. Eh? Perhaps it'll help me somehow.
A fantastic change of heart, Harry.
Rubs his
Go
nose.
talk to Mañana down by the gates. He'll brief you and give you the key.
How about that? Wonder what I might discover along the way.
Just open one little door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door. That's it. Anything else we should discuss?
Well, can we talk about my lost gun?
Yes, your lost gun.
His face
My
turns
best
serious.
men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone.
Don't blow smoke up my ass,
Your
Mr.
gun
Claire.
will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that.
He winks
It's
at
just
you.
a matter of time and effort.
So are you working hard on this case, or are you hardly working?
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Really? Do we think that, Brain?
Who knows? Only one thing is certain. If you work with him, you're going to get it back. And working with him might be the only way to do it.
So wait. I actually have been investigating myself. I'm a detective. And I think the gun was probably purchased from Roy's pawn shop. I say probably. Definitely. He told me that. Are your men aware of that? Have they worked on that bit of the case?
Yes, thank you for the hot tip regarding your lost gun, Harry. My men have indeed
He makes air quotes.
factored in that you pawned it.
Right, yes, sure, yeah. I pawned it.
Now please, let the professionals do their job. Kick back, Harry, relax. I have great guys on this. You focus on what's important. Building our relationship for the good of Martinaise.
I don't know how much of a relationship I really want to build with you, Mr. Claire, but Maybe I shouldn't say that.
It did not come as a surprise to him. He might actually not be bullshitting.
So what are you saying? I do things for you, I get my gun back?
Damn it, Harry. That's exactly what it means.
How about that? What's in that container out there?
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbour. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them.
It's one... There's something special about this one. It was the one that's attached to the Grvalson crane?
Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch.
He says with the
Time
fondest of
is a precious
smiles.
resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
I'm not asking you to count any higher than one, Mr. Claire.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
I think I already did, but maybe that unlocks the white check. Evrart? Mr. Claire? I'm going to leave now. Maybe we'll talk again later.
See you soon, debardeur. Just
Big man
kidding,
raises his hand in
but
farewell.
not too much.
Yeah. One moment, folks. Ah, debardeur, a stevedore, longshoreman, a dock worker. All right, well, I do not like you, Mr. Claire. But if I gotta work with you to get this case cracked, that's what I gotta do. Yeah. Synchronicity. Got a new quest. Open an apartment door. Yes, you open the basement door behind the greenhouse in the backyard to intimidate the occupant. Do what you have to do, because he's going to give us information on the case. And maybe he doesn't realize it, but doing that is going to maybe help him not get killed. Or at least not have all his people killed. Can't be much of a union leader when there's no union left. And actually, now that I say that, geez. Certainly the union leaders can get killed in these kinds of conflicts. One of the great American television series. Has a whole season about a union that gets tied up with criminals down by the docks. And it does not end well. For the guy who cares about the
You're
union.
back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
Hey, sugar.
The container door appears unmoved by your attempt at flattery.
Well, I'm just getting warmed up.
A tough nut to crack for sure, but the strongest containers often have the softest hearts.
Come on. Don't shut me out. Let me in.
The door does not respond to your advances. Is it possible that it seems somehow more closed than before?
Alright. We need double sixes. But also, I can see that if +1 for bid in the world for 2 days, probably got another +1 for 3 days. So even without upping my rhetoric, I'll get other shots at this. Let's try it.
And as it's always
Nope.
been, it's impossible to open a container with rhetoric. Maybe you're losing your mind.
No. I gotta trust my hunches. That's how we found out that the murder victim, shot. Pardon me. Yeah, listen, it wasn't a 0% success chance. Ergo, I could plausibly succeed at it. Okay, gotta talk to Mañana. Mañana. Love you,
like our
Mañana.
harbor?
Labor Utopia. Nod approvingly.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains.
He notes solemnly, then turns to you, a wide smile adorning his face.
Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk.
Well, any idea who killed the hangman?
The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing?
Look, the harbor is currently a prime area of suspicion, not least because a bunch of dock workers told me they did it. In your opinion, is that true? Are the dock workers involved?
What a thought.
He
Why
scoffs,
would
looking
noble
shocked.
workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were pushed, of course.
Pushed how?
Your dead guy was an enemy combatant.
Well, that then. What does that mean?
He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable efforts.
Oh yeah, so did you kill him? Give him the old long kiss goodnight?
I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of men, with all sorts of skills.
Thank you. This has been of limited use.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search. Sure, I'm glad it's been my search.
Pardon me? Evrart said you're the key to a door.
A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open?
He ran his fingers through his mustache there. I was hoping you could tell me.
Of course, I got you. You don't know anything.
He taps the side of his nose with a little wink.
I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing this for myself. Hopefully the sarcasm isn't dripping too much off of this. I'm opening it for all working men. In a way, that's true, because if I don't solve this case, a lot of working men are going to get shot with automatic weapons.
I knew this man was a commie.
He smiles, tilting
And
his
it's
head.
a good thing you're doing too. Thanks. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the whirling in rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized. Means we keep out of each other's business.
So where'd you get the key from?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter.
His gaze wanders off into the distance.
None of this mess we're in. This jiving and juggling. What's it for?
Doesn't wait for my
Feed
answer.
children, I guess.
So anything else I should know about this task? Like the weasel here when he comes home?
I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we are fighting for.
Man takes a big sip from his flask.
Who he is and what they're fighting for? This is interesting.
Actually, while I'm here, Mañana, do you know anything about the Hardy Boys?
Los Ardis? They're an independent militant group. A bit too high-strung, but it comes with the responsibility.
The responsibility of...
They're sort of like you. Preserve the rule of law and all that. Except it's Evrart's law. But
Takes a
really,
swig
they're
from his
just like you.
flask. Oh, so you think that I'm preserving Evrart's law? Is that what you're saying?
Is he actually comparing you, an officer of the law, to some neighborhood vigilantes?
Yes, but I'm gonna let it go.
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffles his hair.
So on the note of what we're fighting for, what are you fighting for, Mañana?
We're negotiating our share.
Your share.
Aye.
He seems pleased with himself. So, like, we're not talking wages or pensions?
This stuff, they already covered.
Well, at least you got those benefits. I mean, that's something.
It's not enough. Not enough to get ahead. More about keeping us in our place.
Well, how large of a share are you looking for here?
All of it. However, right now we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board, so they could take part in the decision-making process.
All of, like, what if we just got, like, 2 seats reserved or something on the board? It just seems like we're going to be oversizing the corporate board. They're going to start having to appoint more officers of their own to counterbalance you. It's going to be like a 500-person board. Wild Pines will be paralyzed. Can you, what's your read on your boss, Evrart?
I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you've met him.
He shrugs.
In my eyes, he is a capable organizer and a decent businessman.
Oh, yeah. And what really does he do as the boss of the union?
I guess you kind of get to be the village chief. He oversees the harbor, makes deals with the owners or other relevant parties, watches out for his own.
So, corruption.
By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? We live in a harsh and disordered world, see? And in this world...
Is the destiny of man controlled by some transcendental entity or law? It's like the hand of God hovering above. This much is certain. Man has no control, not even over his own will.
The old man is corrupt for our benefit, and we know it. Appreciate it even. He is, personally, not too lavish.
I mean, the desk seems kind of lavish.
He is reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you want a saintly demeanor on a corrupt motherfucker. That would be a manipulative illusion.
Tell me, Mañana, in this universe, are you familiar with a band called Gogol Bordello? I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, who's this guy reminding me of?
Besides, there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway. And moralism is the most corrupt of them all.
Not you would like to say. But then there's that weasel door.
Well, I get the picture. Let me ask you something else.
Sure thing.
A gust of wind blows through his hair.
What is this? News of the world? Talk about personal stuff. Get to know him.
Yeah, wait, hold. Like, I assume your parents didn't call you Mañana. Who am I talking to? What's your name, man? I'm Harry. I just found that out.
Call me Mañana. I'm just a humble harbor worker.
Oh.
6-7 years.
I get it, Mañana. See, I felt like I already knew that as a nickname for you because of your dialogue box label. Sorry, I've been drinking a lot lately.
Not a given name for certain. It's a taken name. The kind for artists, or criminals, or revolutionaries and the sort. An alias. A nom de guerre.
Well met, Mañana. It's a sweet-ass name you
A
got.
name worthy of the man who holds it, friend. Names are important.
So, not a given name, I gather.
I'd say a real name is what most people call you.
He realizes something. Does he realize that I didn't say real name, I said given name?
Now that we're getting so well acquainted, what's your name?
I'm so glad that we're having this conversation now, buddy.
Be honest with him.
Yeah. Okay. I think I might be Harry. But like maybe I might give Henry or Hank a shot. I don't know.
Harry. It's cool, but I'm sure you could come up with something even cooler.
Yeah. Pardon me, folks. We're in the clearinghouse stage of the cold. Well, good talking to you. I gotta run.
Hey. Psst.
Who said that?
Psst. Hey. You.
Me?
Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
What? How come there's word on the street?
You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie.
I didn't say that.
Eat the rich.
I can't remember saying
Sodomize
that.
the landowners.
No.
Impel all people who have more than 25
No.
in their pockets. Literally murder all human beings, regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff.
Now listen. I think social democracy is a good approach to regulating capitalism, but I don't know that I've said murder all human beings regardless of
Oh
their political
yes,
beliefs.
the mask of ambivalence. Don't deny it. You're about to rip it off and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that would devour and masticate mankind.
I don't think that's something that the actual communists believe in.
Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder?
I'm gonna
Or
get
do
some,
we
I'm
get
gonna
right
wind up
down
getting
to
some
it?
kind of coward's achievement for refusing to commit to an ideology. But no. You know what? Let's tease this out though. First, hold on. What's communism even about?
Failure. It's about failure.
Is it really? It's about failure?
Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped and pissed on. Until you came along. You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world.
This sounds like messianic nonsense.
You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers. Million-headed armies of nations and the love of your own mother.
I have a real hard time imagining that my mother, whoever she is, loves me all that much.
You against the atom, the charm and the spin, where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class.
I don't think
You
that's even
are
how
the
communism
last
is supposed to work.
communist.
I don't think the revolution is supposed to be led by a single charismatic figure.
Now get to work, comrade.
No, this is too much. I do not have the energy for this shit. Look at me. I'm a beaten down, broken husk.
Very well. I guess no one will build communism then. Tell the working man it's over, unless anyone has objections. Anyone? Anyone else? There's no one. There's one.
What should I do?
You should build communism. Precisely because it's impossible.
No. I'm sorry. Shut up. I want to lie down, just let the water carry me downstream. I am not the tide. Well, we got 2 skill points now. Let's do a quick review here. Some checks that are failed currently. Could try to learn more about myself, I think, with this murder check. I need a lot more authority to scare Titus Hardy. And really, I think I need the authority of Lieutenant Kim, a cop who actually has a gun, beside me. I mean, I could level up my visual calculus to confirm that I'm the one who broke the window in my room, but that seems obvious. Composure might be one to do, just to see if we can break through to Annette. Oh, some more that are available. Or are these ones gone? No, these are available. But I don't think I'm doing any of them. Okay. So maybe I will. For now, I'm not doing anything, but maybe I'll level up my composure, because I got 2 checks I could try. Both of which are going to be pretty tough anyway, but I would love to have a breakthrough with Annette. She seems like a nice kid. And I mean, I already had a breakthrough with a kid who's not even a little bit nice. We know this guy is he's an undercover merc. But I don't think it's time for me to go talk to him yet. So, listen, it's a dirty job. But I said I would let this guy, I would unlock this door. I'm gonna unlock it. Hopefully, my worst fears don't come true and it doesn't turn out that what I'm doing is getting someone murdered. Hopefully they're telling the truth. They just want to intimidate him. That's not an admirable thing for me to be doing anyway. But if it's in service of stopping a massacre, it would just be putting on airs to be like, no, I'm not going to get my hands dirty. This guy needs to keep himself pure now when what's at stake is preventing a massacre here in Martinaise. Stopping maybe Kuno and Annette from being caught in the crossfire. Poor Gart. Like, you know, Gart might be a little rude to me, but I earned that. It's probably this one, huh?
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head.
Well, press my ear against the door.
The leather upholstery is worn and rough against your jaw. You don't hear any movement. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. No birds chirp.
Let's see.
You knock silently. The upholstery muffles the sound. No response comes from the apartment.
Yeah. There's some things you just can't come back from. I remember reading discussions of BoJack Horseman, and at the end of, I believe it's season 3, BoJack does a really bad thing. It's a mistake, but he engages in a mistake that has terrible consequences. And I remember people talking about it, and some people being like, well, that's it. BoJack's beyond redemption now because he's done a really bad thing. And I remember thinking, like, what is your conception of redemption here? Once you've done something really bad, you can't be redeemed. So you just get redeemed from your minor errors?
You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling of the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head.
Oh, are my thoughts going to tell me to go in and, like, see what's going on here? Am I able... I'm a detective. Can I really resist that urge if I get it?
Only curiosity could account for stepping over that threshold. Maybe there's treasure in there. A white alligator.
Yeah. Like,
a fountain of quicksilver.
It's not like you can never go beyond redemption. Hopefully this doesn't cross the political line. But Adolf Hitler, famously, his final act, the last thing he ever did, was he killed Hitler. But it was too late. Can't be redeemed. But otherwise, there's a whole lot of, you know, what maybe you don't believe in the concept of redemption. Sure. Ugh, is this one of those things? It is. But I think by this point, I've realized when I decide, okay, I need to save right here so I can make a choice and then regret it, I'm probably just going to accept it anyway. But what's going on here? What is this place? Does he have any money I can steal? I have a lot of magnesium. This guy's going to be stressed out when he comes home and thinks someone's been in his place. Thinks. Small suitcase full of clothes. Are there guests? Yeah, like Final Fantasy IV, it's not a great narrative. Especially once it gets going, and it's a whole bunch of touching death scenes that are then undone through Deus Ex Machina, and then of course famously the reveal that the boss wasn't this random character you're not connected to the whole time. It was a separate random character you have no connection to. But the part of that narrative that really hits is that you start out as a guy who commits a horrible war crime right at the start. He doesn't mean to. He's just following orders, but he does it. And like his whole character arc is about not being that guy anymore. You can almost feel the warmth of the red sun on the flag.
This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty.
What's with the sun?
This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. This is the sevenfold sun miracle.
Sevenfold sun miracle.
It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo phenomena is how old Revachol got its flag. It is but one of the many strange optic atmospheric phenomena of this wondrous archipelago. You're sure you once saw sundogs in your youth, and blue flares.
I am not going to bow to the flag.
The flag doesn't seem to mind. It's just a colorful fabric with a sun sewn onto it. Like all feudal flags, it looks like a children's drawing.
A lot of feudal flags are kind of fancy, though. Coats of arms and stuff. Are children drawing these things? Danielle said to me as I came down to play today to launch the stream, she said, "Have fun playing Disco Magnesium." Then she said, "Did I get that right?" I said, "You didn't, but I actually do take a lot of magnesium supplements in Disco Elysium." No, I'm not stealing this person's shirt. As tempting as it is to get a logic bonus, I love logic.
A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols. A broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes, and others.
Let's tap these mugs for some reason.
A little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable.
Oh, because they're colonial mugs.
The images betray a lack of interest in human beings. They are merely unflattering caricatures.
Yep. Regular viewers may recall that when I was in elementary school, an incident where a classmate used a racial slur against another classmate prompted our principal and our teachers to decide, you know what? Like, for the rest of their elementary school education, we're really immersing these kids in some serious history. And I was radicalized as a young man into really, really hating racism. What do I mean, uncomfortable?
The owner of these mugs doesn't like people of other ethnicities very much.
Typical asshole.
This person is unhappy.
Yep. Doesn't make me pity them. But I will say, it's not so much racism these days. Not that there isn't lots of racism. I'm not trying to downplay the racism that still exists in our society. But I think the specific type of hatred that you can see just makes the people who immerse themselves in it utterly miserable human beings is transphobia. Got my trans rights or human rights friendship bracelets on. Because there are 2 positions. I'm sorry, Mr. Bezos. There are 2 positions, in my view, that you can take on questions of civil rights. Usually I try to argue political questions are nuanced. We shouldn't flatten debate into thinking everything is like American media wants us, 2 opposing camps. They each march in lockstep believing one thing. But when it comes to protecting the rights of people, there are actually only 2 positions. There's nobody's expendable and there's everybody is expendable. You can't make any carve-outs. This is not an exciting original observation on my part. The famous World War II era poem, "First they came for the socialists," etc. There's no carve-outs. Once you start making carve-outs, you're going down the road. I was a little bit too old. I know people my age who are big into those books. Just on pure aesthetic grounds, they never did it for me. So there's no sacrifice involved for me. in just being like, all right, throw him on the pyre. I don't care. Okay, wait. Oh yeah, so I did the thing. Will Evrart tell me some more stuff if I go back to him? Do I want to make another crack at Annette? I don't know. Let me look. What else do I feel like I should be leveling up? Obviously, I'm not too attached to having savoir-faire. I think I'm probably okay for empathy for now. When you're rolling 2d6s with a +8, you're in pretty good shape. More authority will be helpful eventually. It's probably something to gain from boosting lots of things here, but man, it's because of the empathy thing that my guy really wants to make a breakthrough here with Annette. Also, I don't feel so bad about leaving this guy's door open anymore. Now that I know he's a racist. Hey, Abra. I hear a squeaky cat. Hang tight 1 second, gang. I'm gonna go see if I can figure out what she's squeaking about, and I'll be right back with you. And we're back at it. Turned out Abra was just saying, hey, I used the bathroom. But then she came in to say hi. And then I thought, might not hurt to go blow my nose. And then Abra was like, come downstairs with me. And I was like, you've already had your LUNCH. And anyway, now here we are. Good story. All right. Why not? Why not?
Hear that? Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. The lack of magnesium has you slouched.
So what, there's a lack of magnesium in me?
Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You're practically devolving into a fish due to the lack of magnesium in your bloodstream.
So I need to maggot sideways?
Maggot sideways? What are you talking about? You need to maggot up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks and a minor stroke already. And the only prescription is insane amounts of magnesium.
No. Magnesium in moderation. I need to stop thinking about this. Annette.
Hello, sir. How is the investigation going? Found any curses yet?
Yeah. I found a way into the doomed commercial area.
Oh, that's great. I hope exciting adventures lie ahead. And maybe you can help Mother become less afraid.
Maybe I can, Annette. Okay. Watch me, Annette. Now that I have seen the secrets of the doomed commercial area, I'm feeling my oats. I think I can do something for you. Come on.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why is that?
Hey, you know what I noticed? You're supposed to be out here, like, bringing people to the store, but you always just keep your hands folded. What's up with that?
What do you mean, sir?
She looks wary.
She knows where this is going.
You don't need to be worried. I'm police. I'm here to help. Although, you know, don't just trust any policeman.
She looks around anxiously. Her hands remain folded in front of her. She doesn't want to show them.
It's okay.
She brings out her reddened hands, her nails frayed, nearly chewed down to the flesh.
You've been biting your nails.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded?
There were a few other hints.
Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
Her eyes flashed with defiance. She's not impressed. Maybe I can use my bottomless empathy now to expand on this thought.
She actually is impressed.
Ha.
This is more like a defensive reflex.
Well, you want more? I bet I could figure out why you bite your nails. I got a few leads in mind already.
She nods, half provocative, half enthusiastic.
You're uptight because it's your mother and the pressure she puts on you.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't.
Look, I hope this entertained you.
It was okay, sir.
She's still got a rebellious streak.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
So, you think this is all easy, but alright. I'm an open book. Deduce something about me.
You're quite sober.
Yeah. That's true. It's wild. Just looked up at the sky for the first time in a while. How do you know that I'm usually not?
Because you usually aren't.
I'm also sad and my head hurts. No, we're not going down that road, Cedric. But maybe I can relate to her by being... I know what it's like to be sad, Annette. Sad, my head hurts. This is a day 2 hangover, Annette.
I'm sorry, sir. I hope things get better soon.
She looks you in the eye, a gleam of sympathy on her face.
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you. The whole situation suddenly feels familiar, somehow.
What's going on here? This might be a check that I can unlock if I find out that I have a child. Even without having to level up suggestion again. Well, even odds. Lady Luck, please let the dice stay hot.
Because you know each other. She's been talking to you so openly because you've talked before.
Of course. Hang on. So you know me, Annette? We've met before? God, I hope I've never stuck a gun in my mouth while talking to you and threatened to kill myself.
Yes, I stand in this spot all the time.
She sways back and forth on her feet.
You've been running around all week without your shirt on, sir. Apologising to everyone. I don't really understand what you've done wrong.
Sorry about that. It's overkill, I know. I have a shirt on now. Did I ever talk to you?
Of course, you've stopped by a few times. You certainly
looks at you
look better
intently.
than the last time I saw you.
Thanks. I am trying.
Yeah, I can see. You don't have party eyes anymore.
Party eyes?
You know, like a cat in the dark, all big and wide-eyed.
She giggles at the thought.
It certainly looks odd on a man.
The swiveling eyes of a loony drug addict. That is what she meant. You were probably gurning too.
But she hasn't brought up the gun thing, so this is going well so far.
Fuck yeah. You should get some party eyes right now. Snap those sequins on you, boy.
Nope. 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 But this means I have been taking narcotics.
Oh, baby. That's not what you have to worry about. Worry about the important thing.
So, Annette, why didn't you tell me you knew me to begin with?
I didn't know I had to do that.
Right. Okay. Sure. That's fair. That's fair. Thanks, Annette. I feel like I learned something about myself today.
I'm glad I could help you, sir.
She smiles a wide, helpful smile. Okay. Bye. I'll see you around, Annette. All right. Great. It's not a breakthrough in the case, but I'm glad that we did it. Especially because it further reinforces my disco song title reference for today's episode. Harry's learning about himself. First injunction, know thyself. When I find my gun, it's going to be so tempting. Just, if you've ever seen the movie American Gangster, just walk right up to Measurehead like Frank Lucas. I'll say this. Underrated album. The American Gangster, like Jay-Z's American Gangster album. Harry definitely knows that. I should have talked to Mañana on the way in. I'll talk to him on the way in. So, you know, obviously, Sean Combs is a bad man, and the Hitmen, his production team, handled a bunch of the tracks on the Jay-Z album, American Gangster. Nonetheless, it's a good album. It's it's solid. It's really good. Worth checking out if you're a hip-hop fan.
Mr. DuBois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
Yeah, I know that, Evrart. You told me. I opened the door. Ready to talk murder?
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry.
Hey.
One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
There is no way to sway this man in any direction. He is unsuggestible and unswayable. Just tell the truth.
Look, I may have gone inside, detective's instinct, seen a collection of racist mugs.
Just as I thought. Culturally antiquated mug collection. What a weasel. Pissing on Evrart's Rainbow Coalition.
You're a good man, Evrart. I guess.
Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
He pretends to roll up his sleeves in the middle of that. Look, buddy, I already know who sorta did it. And why. So I've heard about the connection between the lynching and the strike. But I'd like to hear what you know, Mr. Claire.
By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps.
In a sense. In another sense, he's a whole separate bad guy faction that has gone rogue. Which is kind of my biggest concern here. The people of Wild Pines do not want all the dock workers to be massacred.
Harry, this strike is the culmination
You don't
of
have to think they're good
many
people, but
mistakes made
understand
by the
that.
Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
Yep. They should have listened to Joyce. And our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire?
They haven't done that,
He
though, yet.
performs a motion as if spraying bullets from a machine gun.
Why on earth did I need my composure for that? I guess to not be startled or thrown off?
I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramoritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry.
Oh, Chiquita, the Chiquita Corporation out here catching strays. And good for them.
Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant.
Evrart, we prefer the terms developing world and developed world over the first third distinction. Go on.
Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see.
Yeah.
If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
Can I throw him off by seeming like this much of a dumbass? Or will he just laugh at me for being a dumbass? Do they literally move your container? I gotta know. Evrart?
Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it.
Yeah. But at the same time, should we really be getting a good contract for the workers who are trying to discover the anti-life equation? Because they're not really showing solidarity with the rest of us. The fourth world stuff is so great. And Darkseid, a million billion times cooler than Thanos.
But enough about me and my fun container. The killers
face
the
turned
company
serious.
hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types.
There were 3, now there's 2. Yes, we're on the same page
One
so
of them
far.
got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey.
Shakes his
Even
head.
their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Checks out. How'd he end up hanging from the tree, though?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers.
Oh, I never said that. That's great. I was so excited when they were like, we're bringing Young Justice back, and then I've never watched it. The continuation. One moment here. Just gonna turn the heat up a little for myself. What I did love though was the original series and the first episode where they bring the fourth world in. So good. The earnestness, which I can't even remember which character it is, but one of the new gods is explaining the whole fourth world concept to the Young Justice characters, and she's like, and then on Apocalypse there are gods of anti. I can't remember the exact line, but very earnestly saying a goofy line about how the gods of Apocalypse worship anti-life. It's also good. That was a really, really, really good show.
We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
Throw this out there. It's been a long, long time since I had any interest in seeing another Marvel movie again for the rest of my life. But even so, I have opinions on the marketing campaign for the latest Captain America where they're sending the star around to be like, don't worry, it's not woke. Go to hell, Marvel. So who exactly did the pushing?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood. Making sure everything runs smoothly.
Yeah, the Hardy Boys.
They're like you. Idealistic people who want to make sure that bad things don't happen. And if they already have,
Oof.
well, punishment must follow.
Just embarrassing. Just have a little dignity. That's what really gets me about these. Disney literally has been ruthlessly carrying out a mission of consuming all culture so that they will eventually own every thought that any human being has ever had. There's this gigantic, massive corporation. They own The Simpsons. They own Marvel. They own Star Wars. They own it all. And they're cowering before, like, the lamest dorks that you've ever been forced by the algorithm to interact with. Have some dignity. So you think your militant wing did the deed here?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, Socialist Democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land."
I still don't even know what Creature Commandos is, but it was just yesterday that I heard about it for the first time with someone telling me that I absolutely need to watch it. So maybe I ought to look into this.
He probably worded
You're
it
certainly
differently, but that was the
you're
idea.
speaking my language
Sure sounded to me like they killed
with that
him.
description.
I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
You're not worried they're going to get arrested?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinaise boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
There's a chuckle in there that the voice actor didn't share with us.
Despite his boastful tone, he's having doubts about something. But what?
You cannot go wrong with just having loads and loads and loads of empathy.
Maybe he doesn't believe the boys really had it in them. They're his boys, after all.
Here's what I think, Mr. Claire. You're sharing all this information with me, even though it could implicate your boys. Even though maybe I could call for backup, even if I can't do it myself with no gun. Because you don't actually think they did it.
That's very clever, Harry. Yes, they might have said it just to impress some girls or something.
He rubs his
But
chin.
Titus has a bad temper, so the chances are 50-50.
Tell me about Titus and his crew.
Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members.
Oh, I can tell that they're really committed to the cause.
Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
Classic socialist democratic principle. Take over a group by force and name it after yourself. What else? Who's second in command? Who's the most violent?
Harry, they're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever
They're
happened,
all leaders.
I'm sure they
Oh.
only had the best interests of Revachol in mind.
Oh, surely, yeah.
Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
Well, listen, I'm trying not to be a beer guy. Actually, you know what? I think I was a hard liquor guy anyway. Revachol beer is like piss water. To me. If we could actually circle back. How do you know the Wild Pines hired those mercenaries?
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people.
Slams his
That's
fist
their
on the
MO.
desk.
It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent
I'm
in
hoping we can
Sediment,
build up to
a
that. If
security
not in this
contractor.
conversation at
The
some point.
strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry.
Evrart might be an obviously greasy guy, but I believe that he cares about his workers, and I do not think he wants a massacre. Maybe I'm naive.
These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
You think the Pinkertons here are astroturfing the scab, so to speak?
You said it, Harry. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes.
I mean, scabs do just happen to show up during strikes, but I know what you mean. The giant guy who obviously has ceramic armor on under his clothes. The company's actually called Krenel this time. Maybe it was Sediment before.
Of course. You're always one step ahead of me, Harry.
The great
I'm
detective.
no genius. I'm in this position because people like me.
But here's the problem. Only one of them got killed, and the ones that are left are organizing a tribunal to take on the Hardys.
Tribunal? That
He appears
sounds
aghast.
serious, Harry. We Union men should be shitting ourselves.
He rubs his chin
I
and
wish you hadn't
smiles
told me
suddenly.
that. I'm gonna lose sleep over this. Let's change the subject.
He's clearly happy about the tribunal.
You don't seem too worried. Got a lot of ceramic armor stored in some of these containers?
Oh, Harry, what do I really think about the tribunal? You're trying to climb to second base with old Evrart before you've even courted him properly.
Can we use a different metaphor? It's not a homophobia thing.
He wants you to do more things for him before.
Yeah. And so your lawyer girl, the gardener?
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back.
Is
a
my
firebrand
half-light
socialist.
high enough to
Sometimes
convince
she
him to
scares me
never
with
say
her
that again?
feel.
Yeah, it's not a homophobia thing. It's not an ideological thing. It's not a fat phobia thing. It's just your general grossness, which transcends any of those issues. Did you know there was a bullet actually in the hangman's head? That he was shot and killed before he was hung?
So they shot him.
He sounds pleasantly surprised. Yeah. Someone shot him in the head before they hanged him.
How odd. I don't know
He
what
shrugs.
to say, Harry. They told me they hanged him. A hanged man is what I saw when I took a look into that yard.
Yeah, so that doesn't seem weird to you?
What I do know is the case is in safe hands. If anyone can get to the bottom of this shot and hanged man, it's my favorite policeman, Harry.
Am I really your... You're just flattering me. Maybe I could get to the bottom of it better if you told the Hardys to stop being such jerks, huh?
But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
What if you did it in front of me while I was still standing here, so I felt confident that you'd done it?
You can now go and tell Titus about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
I don't need it. I just wanted the in-kind payment. Help me with the Hardy Boys.
Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there.
Ha!
But I'm willing to share information. Was there anything else?
It's just, it's bugging me. This door I unlocked. Who lives there?
Why?
What if it's connected to the case? It's sometimes hard for me to even really tell how the different pins in the board are suddenly going to tie together. So if I don't even know what pins are in the board...
Believe me, he's not a killer. He's a nobody. Just a basement variety armchair fascist who comes up with needlessly complex conspiracy theories.
So why do you have a problem with him? Did he come up with a true conspiracy theory?
What if it did? What if he took a whack in the dark? Started telling people the strike is funded by a protection racket that drove local shops out of business?
Yeah. Hypothetically.
What if he planned to write a hack piece to the local newspaper regarding these crazy theories he had developed? Just to stir up trouble. Wouldn't that be annoying?
It doesn't really sound like a big deal, though. It's really not a big enough deal to do something insidious over.
Insidious? Would I ever ask you to do something insidious? Of course not.
Shakes his
I
head.
personally love journalism, and I know you do too. That's because we've got nothing to hide, right?
I don't think I do.
Now, please.
Actually, I probably
let's
do.
get back to the good stuff. The police stuff, Harry. I just see myself as one of you guys. Think of me as a sergeant or something. Let's crack this, Harry.
You know what? I got some colleagues that I like even less than you, so I can imagine you as a sergeant. This is a good talk, Mr. Claire. The cough is coming. The cough is coming. Let's take a brief intermission. I'll be right back with you. And we're back. So not as bad as yesterday, when I wrapped up the stream with like 15 minutes of not having a voice at all. Hey, good talk, Mr. Claire. Good talk, sorry. Let's wrap this up, though. I gotta get going. Police business.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinaise. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you.
Great sadness overcomes him. Yet?
Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
Well, how pure are you? Like, the game hasn't given me the choice yet, but I think that the social democratic idea, I don't know.
A man of the left. So you have to be a social democrat.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
What's that even supposed to mean? I mean, I'm more left than you are. My desk is not this fancy. I've never sat in a chair as comfortable as you're sitting in.
You're saying it, but I don't believe you. You know how it is, company snitches, agent provocateurs everywhere. I'm barricaded in this fortress of mine, and I need to get a message out. Will you help me?
What does it entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper.
Pulls out an envelope.
And then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
And what are the signatures for?
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinaise.
He grins
it
broadly.
Will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates.
I mean, that sounds like a good initiative. I don't have to, like, break anybody's knuckles to get them to sign this
There's a nameless
thing.
little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry.
It's absolutely time to find my way down the coast. Where is this place exactly?
On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry.
So when they build this youth center, what happens to the people living there right now?
They are just going to have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre, designed by the best architects from Stella Marie.
I mean, if we're not, like, evicting them from their homes. Not a NIMBY. Alright. If I happen to be there, I'll ask.
You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here.
He hands you an open white envelope. Things I do to crack this case, Mr.
You
Claire.
need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble with the waterlock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning.
Oh, okay.
Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then I'll know you're a solid socialist.
Alright. Well, Evrart, I'm going to leave now. But maybe we'll talk again. Talk more later. Happy Tuesday, pal. Shit, I wanted to go down, cross the canal while we were waiting for Kim to come back. But if they're not fixing the thing until day 3, Wednesday, I gotta do something else to while away the day. How are we doing? Back to having 2 skill points and 0 experience points. I've got new stuff. Feels good. Feels great. What is this envelope?
You take the legal documents out of the envelope.
This is what
The
you just
12
gave
to
me.
40 month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum.
Let's take a look at this zoning plan.
The youth center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently, it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses. It's 3 stories tall.
Should have stole the racist shirt. I didn't realize he was a racist when I saw his shirt. Well, I'll steal his shirt if I try this check again. Not great odds, but maybe I can figure this out. Noted, Rigodeath.
There doesn't seem to be anything of interest here. No fine print. You're smart. You can read.
So close. Oh well. All I needed was a 7. The most likely outcome of rolling 2d6s.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found.
Cool.
Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower.
What do I do with you, Bullet? What secrets do you have left to tell me?
The squished little thing has no idea. I know. You should find the gun that shot this bullet.
Find the gun that shot the bullet.
That sounds like something a police detective would do. First, you should learn all you can about this little guy.
Of course. Oh, God. I can imagine where this might be going.
Then find the gun that shot it and the person that gun belongs to. He used it to kill your victim. Neato.
Alright, let's feel this bullet.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag.
Makes sense. Plastic bag isn't much insulation. It's winter. The thing's made of metal.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
Look at the jacket.
You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard.
Yeah. Comes in Urang.
It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
And what does that mean?
Far away, Lieutenant Kitsuragi is flipping through stations in his Kanema. He is not here examining the bullet with you. He should be. He would find this very intriguing. Mention it to him later when he's here.
We'll talk to him later. For now, you're going back in my pocket. Okay. Okay. I think that's enough investigating for now. Get the signatures. Find the murder weapon. Gotta do ballistic analysis. Maybe Lieutenant Kim will be able to help. We did our one job for Evrart. Right or wrong, it gave me stuff. Okay, so eventually this is how I'll make my way down. Let's see. What else is available to me right now? I could try this legendary check with Renee. It's not important, I don't think, to the case. But who knows what I could learn about him. Meanwhile, I should go steal that racist logic shirt. Because I could put one of these level ups into logic. That'll help me with my detectiving generally. But then I'd have a +2 to try to look again and see, you know, before we start getting the signatures here. Is there a trick? Be great if I could just confirm that there's no trick. No, I just want to build a nice rec center. Make the neighborhood a nicer place. Alright, a couple hours in. This cannot be one of the kind of sessions I wish every Disco Elysium session was. Long, because I fucking love this game. But I got like an hour. Talk to Mañana on the way out. See if he'll give me a high five for a job well done. Because if I can get a high five, that's gotta do some morale healing, right?
Man. How can I help you now?
Oh man. You know what? Maybe I could make up my own name. I'll try that in a sec. That weasel we were talking about? Man, he's got one hell of a racist coffee mug collection.
Yeah, the janitor who gave me the key to his apartment said the guy's a bit of an asshole.
His mug collection certainly represented antiquated social values.
Like I said before, I don't know much about this weasel, but the bossman said he's a real piece of work.
He touches his beret.
Thanks for helping out, friend.
Hey, that's what I do. Alright. If I wasn't Harry, who would I be? If I'm not Harry anymore, who am I going to become?
Your mind can only conjure
Nah.
up Hunk Handy, Fuck Valdez, Bosco. You might want to decide to keep quiet about these.
What's wrong with Hunk Handy? Name's Harry.
I hear you, and it's pleasure meeting you, Harry. But do keep an eye out for an alternative, all right?
It's good talking to you, Mañana. You take care. Hello, giant, secretly armored, not racist, mercenary. Hello, schlubby racist. I'm Richard Thickley. Richard Norbert Thickley. But my friends call me, and I won't finish that thought. This is a family stream. So what was I saying? Steal the nice shirt from the racist. I'm sure the racist loves to go on about facts and logic, but he's not really using any logic, and he doesn't need his logic shirt. I wonder if I can talk to Joyce about my findings. Might as well whilst I'm here. Then I'm just gonna have to take a look at the I think I've done this before, but is there anything?
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
But maybe I'll roll double sixes. What's going on here?
Yeah. Why?
Eh,
It's a wall.
it's a wall. It's a wall. It's just a wall. Stop wasting time, Detective Harry. Yeah. Just staring. If it was a real Connor of Daventry roll, we would have passed 6 hours on that check. That's his magnesium. Where's his shirt? In here. Thanks, asshole. Let's do it. Let's get logical. I don't think just putting on the shirt will unlock the white check, but what if it did? Might as well check. I don't think it does. But we'll see.
You take the legal
No.
documents out of the envelope.
Alright. Well, let's get logical. That would have been quite a concept album. Every song's just an adjective, and it's about how she wants to get that adjective with you. If Kim was here, I could try to figure out what he really thinks of me. Which seems to be a bit more of a positive thing according to the achievements menu, anyway.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope.
I like
A
this
12
odds.
to 14
I like
month
these odds.
construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum. There is no loophole. The simple truth is the current residents are going to lose their street access, and for the next 12 to 40 months, their lives will be dominated by constant construction noise right next door.
Okay. And what are the broader ramifications of
Once
this,
the
really?
construction starts, it'll probably take a few months, a year maybe, for even the most stubborn occupants to get tired of living like this. After that, they'll sell their property for cheap and move out.
Okay. So we're going to slow roll the construction. This is a very capitalistic scheme. This is terrible, actually, honestly. These poor people. Is there anything I could do?
Well, you could trick Evrart. Get some random people to sign the document. By the time the union boss finds out, your business here will be already concluded.
Okay. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Why not? I'm more leftist than him. And I'll prove it. If it was an orderly construction project, I wouldn't mind forcing them to live with it. Like I said, I'm not an NIMBY. I know that development has to happen. I'm in favor of a new youth center. But if we want to, you know, make these people's homes unlivable, under the current system, we should compensate them fairly and justly. There's Cindy the Skull, doing her thing. Anyway, we'll see if Joyce has anything new to say. Or if I have anything I can say to Joyce.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
She pats her wet raincoat. Yeah, I could use a coat like that. This rain is freezing.
Sadly, I need this one myself.
Oh, I
It's
wasn't.
hydrophobic, repels water, almost magically. The company makes them for offshore platform personnel. Very sturdy. What I can do for you is answer some questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day.
You are on a boat, Joyce. Why? Why didn't they get you a place at the Whirling?
Why, yes I am.
Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
The word "it" feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Like, cool, but like, come on, Joyce. You're literally living on this boat. You gotta give it a name.
Okay.
Her
How
a
about
name.
Cordelati 19? Why?
She taps on the side of the boat, makes a hollow sound.
Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelati, and its hull is 19 paces long.
How about the sleek fish?
What?
Because it's sleek, it's sloop, it's fish-like, it's in the water.
I think I'll stick with the factory name, but thank you.
But, okay. And what kind of boat is it, really?
It's a pleasure craft, a 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
I wish I could follow up about her racing career. You like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
Nah, yes, right. Her lips curled into a wry smile when she said that. There's not a lot of people on boats just living there, eh?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
I meant like,
There is a pinch of defensiveness in her voice, but it is playful.
wait, we're on an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Still. I haven't seen anybody else sailing a boat around here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Are you saying that that's what I do?
She's referring to Lieutenant
Oh, right,
Kitsuraghi's
right.
motor carriage.
Hey, Stupinsky, you're here not right at the very end. Glad to have you here. Happy Sunday. That's not mine. That's Kim's. It's my partner's.
No matter whose it is, a motor carriage is just a tool. You need it to do your job, as I do mine. It's just a means of getting where you need to go.
Kim's not living in his car, though.
She's having a good time arguing against the law. Too good, perhaps.
So, you got a license? Ooh. Is that like a farm management engine builder? Or is it the cooler kind of scythe, where you're playing as death? Or some third option? You got a license?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Qualified pleasure craft operator. So charming. Where's the damn license?
Yeah. I'm sure you're qualified, Joyce, which is why you could show me your license.
I just renewed its safety inspection last month, officer. It is completely seaworthy. In fact, it's taken part in not one, but 2 Insulindic regattas, and finished once.
Oh yeah, what happened the other time?
The other time, I would have finished the race were it not for an urgent work matter, much like the one I'm on now.
Ah, yes. Cool. So about that license,
Technically speaking, you don't.
I'm pretty sure I do. Police.
Then certainly you must know that under the Wayfarer Act, the RCM doesn't have the authority to demand anyone's operator license. Freedom of movement and all that.
Nah. Okay. Cool. Is it called Scythe? Why is it called Scythe? So yeah, obviously, yes, of course. As a police I'm not just arbitrarily pulling people over asking for the
You may
papers.
still ask to see my passport.
She
That
says.
I'm obliged to share with you.
Huh.
You need to save face if you want her respect. Demand that passport.
Sure. All right. We've come this far. Show me your
Of
passport.
course.
Hey, Jaffa.
The woman is silent, smiling while the waves lap
Wait, have I already said
against
hello
the
to you
hull.
today?
In your hand, under the plastic, a light blue passport saying, Republic of Vespa. The coat of arms has a lion and an ostrich. Seagent. The woman, born in the year 3 in the commune of Revachol, smiles at
Oh.
you. Face adorned with
This explains a lot
frown
about
lines
why
and crow's
51
feet.
is
The
never
photo
fleshed
is
out.
recent. The name reads, Rejoice
Okay.
Leighton Messier.
It's the days themselves. Like, I know that I've said hello to Jaffa at least once this weekend, but was it today? Your name is Rejoice? Joyce is short for Rejoice?
Yes. But please don't call me that.
Obviously, I'm going to call you what you want to be called, but why?
Joyce is much more efficient.
She doesn't like it. Probably a bad memory. Mean girls at school or some ancient lover.
And you came from Vesper.
My husband is. I have dual citizenship. A Vespertine is handier when traveling.
Of course. Well, I mean, everything seems to be in order here.
She nods and returns the plastic bag to her coat.
Well, good talk about your boat, Joyce.
Good.
She takes a sip from her thermal cup. Well, thank you. That's all for now, Joyce. Do take care. Oh, wait, I want to get this racist shirt off. Then again. Okay. Well, so now I guess the big question is, what am I going to do? I can go talk to Titus again. And I like this new shirt because, you know, if I need conceptualization for something, maybe I'll want to swap back. But the shirt I'm wearing now does not reduce my anything. Because I was taking a -1 to suggestion. And suggestion has really come through for me. In general, the psych skills have come through for me big. Which makes sense. That's my main thing. Well. What else is? What do I got going on here? Who made the call reporting the crime? I got no light. I have no lead. Secret passages in the whirling? They're strange doors. No one knows where they lead. Still don't have a song? Oh yeah. If the cook's there in the... I can talk to him about his borscht. What's so special about this borscht? Let's find out. While we're there, maybe I can find a secret door. But I think the secret door is going to be a separate task from... Okay, Titus and the boys still in there. That's good. Maybe you can tell me something about the secret doors.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
Indeed. Before I ask him for anything, let's see what we can chat about. Easy Leo told me you're friends with Mañana. That true?
The mention of Mañana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again. They're friends?
Be strange if Mañana had lied to me about that. Do you know what's up with that door, with the blue door?
He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
Borscht smells good. What's the, you got a secret ingredient?
The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his, and then seems to wait for you to speak.
Yeah.
Borscht need more vodka?
Vodka borscht! I love it, Bratan! Turn it the fuck up and then ask for some yourself.
Nope. 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 I don't even like borscht.
Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg.
Yeah. No. No. No more vodka. Cut. Cut.
The cook gives you a long, disappointed look, then turns the stove off and seems to wait for you to speak.
That's some nice looking pots.
He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn.
Hey, that really says it all. Stay mask. That's a normal thing to say to somebody, right? Let me look at this door while I'm here.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue.
What does it feel
The
like?
cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame on every side.
You have to keep clicking turn up the borscht, turn up the vodka 20 times. And then it just speed runs the massacre. Give it a little nudge.
The door does not budge.
Well, no shit. That makes sense. I wonder if Gart wants to talk about the... Well, now that you've studied the law, Elizabeth, you could just
Can
quit.
I help you?
No. 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 Take care, Gart. Oh, you know what? You know what? While I'm here,
Can I help you?
my bill for tonight. I wanted to.
20 real.
Yeah, I want to get ahead on that, if you don't mind.
Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need
Cha-ching.
another 20 real tomorrow.
Yes, yes. I got some shit to pawn. Don't worry.
Take it easy on him. Deep down, he really hates being the guy who has to remind you.
You should take it easy on everybody. It's a tough world. What else is on the go? Hey, I'm trimming the list down for today, at least. Right. Right. I've been avoiding that weird dialogue option with Joyce, but I should ask her. And then victims' tattoos. Should ask somebody about it. Find my badge. Smoke. Or even better, don't. I could find the gloves if I wanted, but it's not really my priority. Killing time for this. Oh, the scab leader, of course. We could approach him. Maybe I shouldn't do that without Kim. Find Morel. Can't go do that yet. Prove my authority to Titus. Probably not enough to do just yet. Who's going to forge these signatures for me? I don't know. But I know it's the right thing to do. Well, let's see what happens. Hold on. Do I have any clothes that make me could make me seem even more authoritative? Got my druggy shoes. Guess I don't need to be... Oh, keys, whatever. Leave that there. Have no bullets. He did. So, like, I've got that. So I should see. Hold on. I could give up authority with these stupid flip-up glasses. I got nothing that makes me seem more authoritative. Well, let's see.
Looks like
The circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Titus does not look particularly happy to see you. Ah, I can't even try this one again. Yet. Me and Evrart talked. Your boss? He actually promised you to cooperate.
Oh, so you went and talked to my mommy, and now she's making me play with you. Is that it, lawman?
He spits in the middle of that.
And what's gonna happen if we don't? You're gonna go and tell on us?
So this is real mature. Did Evrart send the word or did he not?
Yeah, I heard him. Now fuck do you think I'm doing here? You'd have your ass handed to you if it wasn't for the boss man's word.
Oh yeah? You'd kill a cop?
Let me state this very clearly, capo.
Clears his throat and declares.
Hello, officer. I'm Titus Hardy, and these are my boys. Hardy boys.
Huh.
How may
I get it. It's a reference to a different universe.
Explosive laughter follows. To his men, Titus Hardy is a golden
Hey,
god.
I can try
they
this
want
again.
to laugh at his jokes even before they leave his lips. This guy is a born leader.
And if I fail, it's a white check. I have a skill point. I could try again. And when Kim comes back, I'll probably get a plus. If only I hadn't looked so weak when we first met. But still, even odds. Let's try it. They're going to laugh at me if I fail.
This time it's going to work.
Ooh.
You already ruled out the first bad option that didn't.
Well. First you tell me someone's been raped. Then you don't say who. That's bullshit. I stomp my foot. Very ineffectual.
Stop shitting your pants. You don't need to know, all right? We took care of it. The law handled it, all right?
Yeah. Aren't you listening? It's done. Finito.
Guess we're both the law around here, if you start to think about it, huh?
No, asshole. You're nobody. I'm the law.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Stop yelling about the goddamn law in my establishment. We get it. You're all the law.
I'm sorry, Gart.
Jeez. Okay, we get it. No need to piss in my drink. I preferred Sylvie. The fuck even happened to her?
She left because she kept giving her the old, I'm gonna kill myself. Well, I'm gonna slink out of here. But I'll be back. With someone who has a gun. And just with a more of an air of authority around me. Let's go talk to Joyce about this reality. I got a ways to go for another level up, so I don't necessarily want to dump this skill point right into authority just yet. Especially when might unlock that check just by getting Kim back on the job. All this humiliation will just make it all the sweeter when I actually seem tough and cool and make them respect me. Right? Is that how that works? My favorite deep thought by Jack Handy, the old SNL bit, was a man doesn't just automatically get my respect. He has to get down in the dirt and beg for it. Hold on. Someone's calling me, I think. Hang tight. Intermission. Be right back. And we're back. All right. Danielle needed me to, she's got a wrist issue, which means I had to, what am I trying to say? Clean a cast iron pan for her so that she makes supper, which also means we're on a timer here. We don't have much time left, which is okay. I got the big things I wanted to do today done. We passed time in the day.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Yeah. This is gonna sound weird, Joyce, but you seem like a smart lady. What's your thought on reality?
This reality?
Exactly. She pulls her hood closer around her neck. It's the medical episode we were talking about. I'm having trouble remembering even the most basic terms of reality.
Ah, yes. The episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy now that I think of it.
No kidding. She puts down her thermal cup and she looks at me.
But then I'm no doctor. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Even my +1 shirt is not gonna, wouldn't make it a big difference to there. But maybe these questions will give me some boosts. In which case, I'll shut it down for now, put the conceptualization bonus shirt on and try again. Where are we?
We're in Martinaise, baby.
Baby?
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holdover myself.
Aren't we all?
She refers to your corresponding ages.
And, what is Martinaise anyway?
Martinaise is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock.
Yeah, that's what it implies on this postcard here, and also some maps I was looking at.
You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Tell me more about this Martinaise.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders.
A brief spike of longing in her upright body. The dots under her eyelids shake.
This place used to be a province. A workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star of the show here now. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
So why were you here as a teenager?
Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats and... Don't hold it against me. The boys certainly did not.
Bet they held something against you. You mentioned a sea. What's the sea called?
It's not really a sea. It's the Bay of Revachol.
I probably could have guessed
And the
that.
bay feeds into the ocean.
Are we near that
Yes.
ocean?
We're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water. The Insulindic.
The Insulindic Ocean. And we're in an archipelago.
Vast, lukewarm and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
And I know that you just told me this, but what's the name of this island?
Caillou, as you already know.
Fucking Caillou.
Imagine a pebble. A smoothed over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the river Esperance. We're in the delta of this river on the 6th branch, the Martinaise distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her.
So that's Martinaise, which is part of Revachol.
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
And what kind of city is Revachol?
Great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism, a fact.
What makes Revachol great?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
And who's the they?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile Marat, depending on your creed.
Or both. Just playing different roles in the process. And when did they build this place?
In the DeLorean century.
Right.
380 years ago.
And Revachol is supposed to resolve history.
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered.
Ah,
the
bruh.
tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest.
Righto.
By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
And women. Come on, Joyce. Let's at least have some feminist ideology here. Why here, though?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
And so if this seems like an island that can support 200 million people is large enough that it shouldn't count as being part of an archipelago. So we're pretty much the center of the world, huh?
Oh, we're quite a way off. About...
She points across the water, where the skyscrapers rise.
A collection of tall ghosts behind the water vapor, light reflecting off their glass windows.
22 kilometers from the center of the world.
Yeah.
That soldering iron is the bank
So
of the world.
pretty
building.
close to the center of the world.
The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
I turn and I look to the sea.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time.
It may be day 2, but I've still got that day 1 energy.
There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Say nothing.
She observes your eyes scanning the horizon,
Ooh.
then breaks the silence, slowly.
Jamais vu. Derealization.
This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something
nothing
about a
yet.
lowdown.
Well, these times we're living in, what are they?
These
what are
are
these times?
unimportant times, Detective.
Doesn't feel that way.
You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth. Joyce, surely you can anticipate my follow-up here.
The revolution.
So what is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
That's a real cynical look. So, outlook, I mean, Joyce. Who got shot in the head last revolution?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
Yeah.
She's not gloating. It's a relieved celebration.
I don't know if we should be celebrating this at all.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Did any of these folks shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Truly quite a kerfuffle.
Yes, the Insulindian deluge, they call it.
Anyone else on the opposing side get shot in the head?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Pretty cowardly king.
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing, so he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Who got the mineral rights at the end of all
The
this?
liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Okay, but when you say liberals, who do you mean?
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement.
You're sounding like a communist the way you talk about liberals, Joyce.
Some were rich enough to stay with the constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
Some of the liberals stayed with the monarchy? I mean, it's a different universe. The liberalism can be different. You know, one of the first big things that the liberals did in the real world was cut the head right off a king and his wife and a whole bunch of other people. So how'd the liberals win all this? Shooting people in the head, I guess?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
Yeah, you did mention that.
She's one of them. Of course.
Now, if everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
So then why'd you say it was the liberals?
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground.
She stomps a
the
rubber-booted
ocean,
foot.
the laws, and the people.
You're actually on a boat, Joyce. There's no ground beneath your feet. Who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
Moralists, you say? We're not talking about, say, like George Eliot, who I guess you've never heard of, because she doesn't exist.
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head.
Well, I can meet them at least halfway on that.
At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do.
Oh.
They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
That a fact.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
I don't think I am a moralist, Joyce.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work.
I have a strong anti-head shooting stance. So much so I gave my gun away. When did this kerfluffle, the revolution, go down?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question.
Joyce, I'm just... What century is this?
The revolution began in 02 on the Isla of Grad.
So after
Though
the
by
turn of the
end,
century.
Nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
And who kicked this off?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government.
What did this Zarath pandemic do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
Oh wow, really?
Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Where did it spread to from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in 08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
And what came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Before she said that, she spread her arms with a raincoat flapping in the wind.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie? A pair of pants?
Our lives, even within this zone of control, Joyce, kind of have some distinct differences.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. What's the zone of control, though?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the Citizens' Militia.
Of course.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
You know, I sometimes feel like I know more about with my militia mates than I know about myself.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
While all this was going on, what of the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
You're saying this has been going on for 43 years? The interregnum?
Time flies.
What have we been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell.
And what about after the decade of urban war?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
And were they?
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The
Cocaine.
40s dispelled it like a cold splash, an Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are.
She curtsies.
Welcome to reality.
Boom.
Baby.
Level up. You love to see it.
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her eyes. Days slipping away.
You don't seem to be thrilled.
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova, this raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it.
Comma splice.
No, it's just...
She looks at the crumbling tenements, paint flecking from the stone.
We could have had so much more. Every one of us. If only we played it right.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
I asked you, Joyce, though. Like, what do you see as your role in all of this?
And I asked you, past-less detective of the Citizens' Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
Well, I mean, the fact that it didn't kill me makes me think that maybe if everybody hadn't been dying of brain disease, maybe...
So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion, a complex folding protein, unlife, with a technology 50 years ago?
I mean, maybe a little social support, some research, some public health measures.
Good hygiene. Really. A very moderate solution to an extreme problem. It's those sort of half measures that doomed the authorities in Grad.
Well, look, I just can't get on board with shooting everyone in the head, Joyce.
When they failed to step up, Marzov and his party stepped in.
Yeah.
In this particular case, maybe a more robust state response might have been appropriate.
Yeah, like some lockdowns, some intensive research. If we can't get vaccines going, some inoculation programs.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come.
As John Maynard Keynes famously said, in the long run, we're all dead.
Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
That's a good
Not
question,
so
Joyce.
fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
Joyce, I just want to know who you are. I just want to get to know you.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
I'm just going to say nothing.
I am the vilest of the vile.
She says with a sudden
A
flash of
traitor,
teeth.
a devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine.
Wait, what's an ultra?
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, not the moderate kind.
So what's so vile about it?
Haven't you heard? I am a nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. One of those who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. I can see you thought I'd gone extinct.
Had I?
No sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a centrist at heart. A real moralist.
I really try to think of
Tell
myself
me,
as a social democrat,
now that I've
Joyce.
uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride. Forgive her. But only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
I forgive you.
I do hope so.
She bows.
I hope we're able to remain collegial despite it. Remember, we were partners, whether you like to admit it or not. There's blood on many hands, I assure you.
Yeah, sounds like it. Probably splattered on many walls, too.
When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future.
She turns her gaze to the Delta.
This was all our last generation managed.
Well, would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinaise a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinaise, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake.
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched. She loosens them.
Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
It's kind of resonant.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
Jeez. Under all that world-weary cynicism, Joyce, you're a patriot.
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
You're a smart lady, too.
Perhaps.
Her earrings chime
My
as she nods.
intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
One thing that I've managed to keep myself clean from is any kind of vanity, Joyce. It's part of the trick of being a real piece of shit. No, not chiming in. Intellectual vanity would be my undoing, too.
And the crown on your head as you lay in the casket.
That's right. She got kids, daughters.
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
Let's see. Nah, I'll save it. I gotta wrap up. That's all for now, Joyce, but this was a great
Glad to
talk.
have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
I mean, that felt like a lot, actually, Joyce. But thanks. That's all for now. I'll talk to you later. So I got 2 skill points. Got a new thought that I might be interested in pursuing. Jamais vu. Revachol Special Administrative Region. Le Caillou. The Insulindian Ocean. Coalition Government. Insulindium Mission Command. Name after name. None of them's familiar. They seem real. Something's wrong. I feel like a kid looking at stickers on a fridge. Trouvant. The Apricot Company. World Games 34. You can almost see your hands reaching out for them. Scratch at the corners. See if they peel loose. This feels like the most important of all the thoughts. The one you must truly complete. Ah, thank you, Juffawet. I can't claim all the credit. This game makes it easy. Well, maybe I'll unlock some more space in the old thought cabinet next time. I'll still have a level up left over. Yeah. To juice my authority for another run at those jerks. I can still try again with Renee. We're not going to do that today. But hey, you never know what's going to happen. It's worth a shot. Yeah. Lots to do next time. Just like there pretty consistently is in this game. This really, really cool, great game. Thanks again to Rigodeth for being the one who told me, you know what? If you're going to take a break from Ultima 7 Part 2 Serpent Isle, you should finally do Disco Elysium. And of course, thanks to Waffle Syrup for having, maintained the drumbeat for Disco Elysium for literally years. All right. Awesome. This was great. I love this game. So, check it out. Where are we going from here? Come Wednesday, barring disaster. There's been a lot of disasters, so I don't know. But hopefully Greg will be here, and we'll be beating him up, playing the arcade beat-em-ups of 1993. Which ones? I'm not sure. It's been a disrupted year so far. This week, although I got to update the schedule, hopefully I'll remember to do that right now. Friday Night Frosthaven is going to be on Thursday. We're in the depths of Delirium scenario, and it's going well. It feels good. We were so close to winning the first time, so the fact that it feels like we're doing better thus far is a really nice feeling. Next Saturday, well, the Saturday gimmick right now is when I can get into full drag, when I got the time and the energy. Jamie Rose, my drag persona, will be playing the Leisure Suit Larry series. I haven't even started it yet, but that's what she'll be doing. And when I can't do it, I'll be playing Space Quest V: The Next Mutation. I think next Saturday is probably a Space Quest day. Not because I'm still going to be sick. I'm not going to be. I'm not. I won't. But because we're actually going to a drag brunch show. And that's probably going to... Danielle has already told people about Sunday plans. Oh, I'm going to be hungover on Sunday. So I get the feeling we're not coming home in a state where we're getting me into full drag. We'll see. We'll play Space Quest V: The Next Mutation if we don't. And I feel very comfortable, barring disaster, saying February 22nd is, at the latest, the next time we'll see Jamie here, and we'll start playing Leisure Suit Larry. So that's exciting. And then, before you know it, it's going to be Sunday again. And in the game, Tuesday. And we'll be carrying on, continuing the investigation, continuing to get to know myself. In addition to Revachol, I should make sure I got a save thrown down right at the end. Done. And, onwards and upwards. Hopefully, we're going to pull this off and prevent a massacre. But who knows? Only time will tell. If you stuck around to the end, thanks for sticking around to the end. If you came and you left and you can't hear my voice, I'm glad you stopped by anyway. So thanks for stopping by. And until the next time, when it's Tuesday Bloody Tuesday on a Sunday. Or if it's any other day and we're playing something else. Take care of yourselves. And be kind to everyone you meet.